Should have read the instructions.
Hey, I see us.
You do?
We're up.
I don't.
We're up. That was actually really quick this time. Thank you, YouTube. Of course, that means the stream's going to crash halfway through, but used up all my luck early.
Well, we ran through enough issues early on.
Yep. Oh, and Jessica, it's time to watch Talking Heads. Jessica. Sorry, I had to do that. I was paid to say that. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Your once weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news, episode 150. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday night. If you have never seen the show before, we talk tech, we talk games, entertainment, pop culture, we talk beer. The show is family friendly in both language and content.
Yep.
We do drink alcohol on the show, but
it's fine if you don't. Yeah.
Drink along with us or don't. And if you are drinking along with us, either alcoholic or not, give us a let us know what it is in the chat, and we will give some early show shout outs on here. All super chats are read on the air so long as they meet the family friendly criteria. And if you want to join the super secret chat, go over to the Patreon and join my Discord. Link is down in the video description.
Yes.
Minimum donation $1 a month gets you access to the exclusive Discord server where you can chat with myself, John, Steve, Rhett, all the toast from Talking Heads, and get in on that super secret action.
Did you say toast?
I said hosts.
Oh, I thought you said, and the toasts.
Well, we'll see it on the replay, won't we?
Yeah.
Pretty sure I said hosts.
Yeah.
I was trying to get it through quickly.
How you doing today?
Oh, I'm here.
Right? See, at least you're in a basement.
Yeah.
I'm in my garage. It's not completely sealed.
Right.
So I come in here, I'm like, somebody's smoking?
Yeah. I will say this room is probably the worst in the house, so I can smell it in here still. For those who don't know, the Oregon wildfire situation is at least partially under control now, but It is still wildly not under control. And the fires are about 15 miles from both John and I. Luckily, they haven't gotten any closer than that, but our air has been absolutely terrible since last Monday. So this is day 9 of beyond unhealthy air quality, and it's starting to affect me. I don't know if you've noticed anything different. I have been spacey as all hell, as in like, and even more than like my normal ADD self. I cannot keep a thought going for more than a minute at a time. I will walk into a room and completely forget why I walked into that room. My wife will ask me a question and I won't hear her or won't respond. More than normal.
I was gonna say, like, that's pretty normal for me, right. Jeff. I was like, yeah.
No, it is like cranked up to 11 right now, and I'm fairly certain it's air quality. It's not getting very good sleep. I
will say the sleep thing is getting to me. Even when they say, turn your air conditioners on or anything, I'm like, I have a window air conditioner.
Right.
It doesn't really help me.
Yeah, heat pumps will help because it then turns your house into a positive pressure system and keeps things out. Whereas a window air conditioner does not a lot.
No. But man, I will say that, like, opening the door and going outside, I'm like, it was hot, sunny, like I said, 10 days ago, and now it feels like we're in the middle of winter, or getting end of fall, I should say.
Right, it's end of fall. It's still warmer than end of fall.
It's still warm, but
still in the 70s.
But visually, you're like, this isn't right.
Right. Yeah.
This is freaking me out.
My whole perception of reality is just out the door. Not that it wasn't already, because we had to live in sepia tone for about 4 days. For those who don't know, go look at my Twitter profile picture right now, and that's how orange the sky was for 4 days.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was what's it called? What's that Harrison Ford movie?
With
the sci-fi.
Yeah, Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, yes. Yeah. It looks like LA Blade Runner.
Yeah, no, it was Blade Runner for a couple of days. It was shot in Mexico in Breaking Bad.
Yes.
That was my favorite one that I heard. There were a number of movie references thrown out, but man, it
was crazy. I even The first day it was orange here because I did it on my Twitter account. I walked outside and took a picture when I left, and it was like you're saying, it was orange, red. Yeah. And then I drove to work 20 miles away, and it was blue sky. I was like, wow, this is weird. Yeah. Eventually, everything got over there, but that first day was like, whoa, this is weird.
Yeah, so this is day 9 going into day 10 of very, very unhealthy air. I got really excited yesterday because they finally downgraded us from hazardous air quality. Because if you've ever paid attention to the AQI or air quality index or whatever API, I forget what they call it.
Yeah.
But the air quality index, essentially, that the EPA puts out, 50 is about what the normal number is, and the lower the number, the better the air quality. 200 or 150, they start issuing warnings that it's a little bit unhealthy. Start limiting your time outside. Maybe move some normal outdoor activities indoors if you can.
You're probably going to feel exhausted. You're not going to be able to run or go as far as...
200, they claim it's very unhealthy, and 400 is hazardous. I guess we broke the scale.
We broke the scale.
Parts of Portland and parts of Salem were hitting 850.
Yeah, there was someone I saw even that it broke the scale to 999, and it said it went way beyond that. They just could not report it, and they don't even know how to classify that danger level of air quality.
Right, and so all they said was it's hazardous to go outside right now, and right now it's very unhealthy is the official index, because we're still sitting in like the 480 range, which is like double or triple the normal. You shouldn't be outside numbers.
Go check your mail, come back in. That's it.
And someone said, there's probably just too much CO2 in the house. And that's exactly what it is. We can't open the doors and windows because the air outside is hazardous, and we're not getting that airflow in and out of our houses that we normally do. And so, I'm getting a little bit loopy, and it's not my normal ADD and anxiety ridden self. It's it's air quality, and it's not getting sleep and everything else that goes with that. So Anyways,
that's what's going on here in Oregon.
Yeah, catching you up on some local news here. Skull says, red outside, so red ale tonight. You read my mind. I actually do have a red ale tonight.
I have something very, very interesting.
Okay. I've got one of mine out here. So I've been digging on this one lately. So yeah, but my beers are both themed tonight. First up, I've got Mother Earth Primordial IPA, which is this thing is good. It's an Imperial IPA, 9%. It's Vista, California, and Napa, Idaho. Is their two locations, but this has just been freaking delicious.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm starting with.
That's what you're starting with. That's cool. I went a little bit different route. Okay, So today I went to my favorite marketplace because they just opened back up.
Yeah.
For the air quality.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks ago they rearranged everything, so I couldn't. They haven't quite figured out how the layout is, and then so all my regular spots, I'm like, I don't know where all my favorite breweries are. Yeah. And they moved all the European and foreign stuff up front. So I ended up picking up this. So this is a Ukrainian honey ale.
Okay.
7%,
plastic cap and all.
Yeah, 7%, 0.4 gallons. So it's yeah. So I have a glass to make sure I don't overpour. So I think I'll be good.
Yeah. Rock and roll. So I check out that pour. First off, yeah.
Okay, let's go.
And that's a legit. There's all the beer. There
I think I'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
I think I got this. Okay.
You can even slosh that one.
I can even slosh that one.
Yeah.
Still going.
I mean, it's never stopped you from sloshing beers before.
No, so I think I'll just go ahead and
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Vortex action. Ooh yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, that is dark.
It actually doesn't smell horrible. So I looked this up. I couldn't pronounce it. If anyone wants, see there. There it is. No, other way.
There. Yep. Hold. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
So yeah. If anyone wants to look that up, go ahead and try writing that on the chat of what I'm drinking.
Yeah. On Hikona?
Yeah.
And I know I butchered that, but that's the English pronunciation.
Yeah. So 7%, and it said dark lager, and another one, and on there it says pale beer with natural honey. So. Oh, that's wow. Whoa.
Words escape.
Yeah. Wow. That tastes like, you ever saw those old beer videos I did?
Oh yeah.
That's what feels.
You should have recarbonated it.
Oh, God, I was fresh.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't look carbonated actually. It tastes flat.
Yeah.
It tastes flat and old.
Well, the way you poured it and with as little head as you got, I knew it was not well carbonated.
Oh. Kind of butterscotchy and sweet and dusty.
This is delicious.
Yeah.
This is man, if you like IPAs and you like that, this is very much like a Stone IPA.
Ooh.
Like their classic Stone, but crank it up to like 9%. Think of like what is the Fear All Lions? They're special,
Fear Lion
movies or something like that.
Something like that.
But it reminds me a lot of that. Where it's a Stone IPA, but instead of 7%, it's cranked to 9 or 10.
Skull found my beer in chat. He said it took him too long. All right, so I get the 2.9.
Okay.
So
it's better than Budweiser.
It's better than Budweiser. I honestly, that's
all right, let's get some shout outs here real quick. We have a ton of smoke here in the Spokane area, according to Nick. Yeah, it's bad all up and down. Willamette Valley here in Oregon, up into Portland, up into the Couve, and I guess parts of Washington, even north of Vancouver, are dealing with it too. As far north as Kelso, and as far south as, well, California.
Yeah. They say the smoke's now hitting the Midwest.
Yeah. I actually heard reports that the smoke was hitting places in Virginia because the jet stream was taking the smoke all the way over. So I have a couple of friends that I talked to over there, and they said, yeah, it's been hazy for like 2 or 3 days. Thanks, guys. Yeah, hazardous to unhealthy for the win. Yeah, that was actually, not only was it worth celebrating, very unhealthy was trending in Oregon on Twitter because people were so happy that it was very unhealthy now. That was the Twitter trend in Oregon yesterday. Is there a smoky beer? Gotta go with the theme. I actually do have 2 German smoked beers in my fridge right now, and I considered opening one.
See,
I've been tasting it for 10 days already.
Yeah, I thought about trying to find a smoky beer at the bottle shop. I couldn't find anything good. And then this just like, hey, a plastic bottle. Sure, I'll buy that.
Kildai, Drop Top Amber. Nice. Rev picked up a Duchess de Bourgogne? De Bourgogne? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Sorry. Nate, Sun River Rippin'. Dunkel, I have only a lager. Wish I had an all-day IPA. Yes. Gonna start selling Rogaroo says I'm gonna start selling canned air to the West. Perrier. President Scroob.
Oh man, someone needs to go do that right now on Twitter.
I told you never to call me on this wall. Having a Breckenridge Vanilla Porter tonight. Henry Reinhard Private Reserve, beer in hand and loving it.
How old is it?
It's from I'm a Crazy Guy. Did John just buy a spittoon? A lot of hate on your German glass for Ukrainian beer.
Okay, I have a boot, but I don't have any Ukrainian glassware.
Who was that said I have a Pepsi? Someone said a...
John, the glass...
Sakura says he's got a Pepsi right now.
Oh, okay.
Dark Storm, happy with my Dogfish 60.
60 minute, nice.
Yep. All right, cool. Well, let's get into some news, shall we?
Yeah.
Make sure I've got the right slide up here. Awesome. And hopefully my slides work. Okay, there we are.
There we go.
So we have some possible leaked news, or at least the rumor mill is starting to churn about the Intel DG2, Intel's up-and-coming graphics card release. The DG2 has allegedly been spotted and listed on some OEM purchase sites with 8 gigabytes of GDDR6. It is in an unspecified form factor at this point, but it is listed as an Intel TGL-H 45 watt part Intel DG2 graphics processor. And we knew the DG2 was going to be making an appearance, or at least an announcement, probably sometime late this year or early 2021. I would not be shocked if this was released at CES. I would not be shocked in the least to see this.
You think they're released, or you think it'll be just benched at, or like here's the stats of everything?
No, I think announce for release probably within a couple of weeks after CES, because I know their goal was to crank out video cards by the end of 2020.
Yeah.
And so there might be something by the end of 2020, but I'm guessing that whatever mainstream card they're coming out with will likely be launched at CES virtually, since we can't attend in person anymore. And probably, I would say by the end of February, we have cards in hand. That's my guess. But 8 gigabytes of GDDR6 and 384 execution units is what Intel is calling them. And each execution unit has 8 ALU cores. And so in theory, the configuration now stands at 3072, 4096, or 7680 ALU cores. And that's the theoretical amount. Like if you had perfect binning, that's not going to be the release number of cores. The dies are usually cut down a little bit after binning. But apparently video cards did obtain a photo of one of the PCBs alleged to be the Intel DG2.
Which looks to be the 6th.
Right. Marked here as a DG2. They've extrapolated that it will have a 192-bit memory base. And so pretty decent memory speeds at GDDR6. They've determined the die size of the card, or of the die as well, at 192 square millimeters. So decent size die. And they said from the looks of this, the card sample that they got to look at appears to be an MXM, so a mobile PCI Express or a laptop video card.
Or
so
tablet,
yeah, this is a modular mobile video card, clocking in at 45 watts. So I'm kind of curious. I'm very, very curious, number one, to get a third player in the game. I would love to see Intel actually compete in this space. It's been a space that's, for the last almost 20 years, been dominated by 2 players. Ever since Voodoo and 3DFX and all them kind of
got bought out,
or went under, or combination of the two. But I hope they're able to do something. I hope they're able to do something relevant and make some noise, even if it's at the bottom end. If their first go round, they produce something in the realm of a GTX 1060 or RX 580, that's a win. That's an absolute win. I'm not looking at them to, $500 and competes with an RTX 3080. No.
Well, I guess the only way would be that if it is, like a 580, what's the price point on this going to be?
Right. But if they come out, right. If it does come out RX 580, GTX 1060-ish performance, or even below that, if it comes out for like $80,
then you're fine.
Right. AMD and NVIDIA don't touch that market anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. But if it comes out at like $199, you're just like,
right. Then we have a problem.
Yeah.
Bring back CIS. Silicon Integrated Solutions, I believe is what that one was. If they bring out a card of moderate low-end performance and it's less than $100, that's a market that hasn't been touched since the GT 1030 and RX 550.
Yeah.
And even the RX 550 still didn't sell for less than $100 until very recently. So it's a market that's often neglected.
If this is going to compete theoretically in that market, like we're kind of suggested, and even mobile with a lower wattage, this is actually going to be a really decent beginner level entry graphics card for the cheap. Hey, I need $300. I want to go build my son, not his first gaming PC or something like that. This will be great. Heck, even probably like $250 if you really budget it out correctly. And you don't need that big power supply too. That's the really beauty. Actually, you probably won't even need a power supply if you have the right motherboard. So
well, PCI Express specifications say up to 75 watts delivery through the motherboard. So if they're claiming a 45 watt chip, you don't need any ancillary power.
No. And I wonder if this will also be in a small form factor too, because that would be an interesting.
Well, if it's an MXM, then absolutely it will be.
Yeah.
But I say open up the MXM spec, start allowing people to produce motherboards. NVIDIA, start selling MXM cards so I can truly build small form factor computers on my own. ITX can only get so small, especially when I'm forced to use, full size desktop cards.
Yeah.
Sell me a 1070, max Q card on an MXM. I'll eat that crap up. I love small form factor builds. So.
No, this will be interesting. Yeah. Didn't they say that there might be an announcement, at least a much more clearer announcement within like next week or so?
Yeah. We keep hearing that we'll hear announcements of Intel's graphics soon.
Yeah.
But soon is never really materialized.
I know. I keep hearing it soon, and then there's like, there's this Intel event that's coming back. That's probably coming virtually really soon. That's probably what they're talking about, and then nothing happens.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, the last news that we got on the Intel graphics cards was at CES with the release of the developers unit of the DG1. They really haven't talked about it since then. Now, obviously, there haven't been a lot of opportunities to publicly talk about it since late January.
Yeah.
But
February, March.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens with it, but I want to see it. I want to see it, and I want to see it succeed. Because if there's competition, everyone wins. I've trumpeted that since I started YouTube. Oh, this is delicious.
Yeah, shut up. Mine's yummy too.
I'm just glad you're not in studio this week.
I missed that part. That's the best part. I missed that part so much. Of bringing you crappy beer and making you drink it.
I got your 2 pickle beers here waiting for you.
I have one coming in too. I have plenty of beers for you too. I know we should do a 6 foot apart exchange beer episode. Here you go.
We should.
We'll get like 6 foot straws.
Yeah. Here, John, catch, and you catch your beer. And then we go, here, Jeff, catch, and I go, oops, I dropped it. Oh no!
No! And I'll be like, look, it's cool. I got a 6-pack.
You have any gin? I'll catch that.
I'll get that. Do you see that article I posted of the gross alcohol museum?
Yes.
And they had the ant gin.
Yeah, the ant gin, the whale fecal matter.
Yeah, it was a whale testicle.
Oh, whale testicle.
And then they had actual fecal matter.
It was whale testicle smoked with goat fecal matter.
Yes, yeah.
It was one beer.
Yeah, and they had like human feces wine. I was like, wow.
I can make Pruno myself.
Yeah. I want to go drink that.
Mm-hmm. This time on Hops and Brews, welcome to Switzerland.
I mean, you'd probably tune into that episode.
I would watch. Yeah, it was the disgusting food museum. I don't think it was in Switzerland. It was somewhere else. But
somewhere,
yeah. But yeah, they're having a 3-month exhibit for disgusting alcohol.
Yeah.
So, how that didn't make our final list, I don't know. John, if you can find the article, we'll tuck it in. But
okay.
Yeah, just add it to the list, and we'll see if we can get to it at the end.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to some Ryzen 4000 series leaks, courtesy of AMD. AMD actually, strangely enough, leaked their own information.
Strangely,
AMD has confirmed that Ryzen 4000 series processors will make their debut on October 8th. And they might have accidentally sent out a press release stating what's going to be in the announcement. Basically, they have a model listed as the 19H and the 21H B20. And 17H refers to Zen 2 CPUs. So 19H will refer to these new CPUs. And it wasn't disclosed like necessarily SKUs or parts or whatever else. $5 Novella Hub, chug the pickle beer. I know you sent the beer, so I feel obligated to open it at some point, but it's going to cost a lot more than $5 to make me chug that.
Now, is he asking you to do it or me to do it?
He just said $5, chug the pickle beer.
Yeah, so who's he asking, you or me? Because he gave both of us one of them.
Right.
So, I don't know. Yeah.
No. Those two had your name on them. Anyway,
but so AMD,
so exact parts and specs were not released, but they did release some architectural information on it. And the architectural information basically confirms that we're not going to go up in core counts this generation. So Zen 3 will likely stay at the same 6, 8, 12, 16 cores, at least on the across the board for both likely Threadripper, EPYC, and Ryzen CPUs. And the reason is they're still only shipping them with 2 CCX units. Now, the I.O. die, my speculation is the I.O. die that controls the 2 CCX units on Ryzen processors is going to finally make the jump from 12 nanometer down to 7 nanometer, so that will free up some physical space on the board. And I don't know if they're going to make the CCX units larger or what. But at the moment, all we know is that the core counts themselves will not be going up again. Because we went from, 8 cores in the original Zen release to 8 cores in the second Zen release. And then when they dropped to 7 nanometer, we went to 16 cores. We're not going to see that same leap again, at least this next generation.
And everyone's speculating that we're probably still going to see 16 cores as the flagship processor for this one. That's still who's complaining about 16 cores?
Right.
As
what do you use 16 cores for?
Yeah,
games and stuff.
Well, it's not an Intel i9. Shut up.
John J says, so $6? And then Novella Hub says you can drink both.
I mean, I could do.
All I'm saying is you got bigger glassware than me.
Yeah, I do.
Although I have that exact same German glass you just poured that honey ale into.
Do you?
I have.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got it from the same person.
I have it right down here. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it from the same person.
Yep. I see him rolling around town every once in a while still.
That's cool. I miss him.
Yep, me too.
But I have the full set.
Yeah. Well, I've got a pair of those and a pair of smaller ones.
I got all the way down.
Oh, I don't have the tiny. I don't have the little guys.
I got a full set all the way down to the tiny one.
Yeah, I don't have the 8 ounces. I've got the 24s and the 1 liters. Yeah,
I got the 2 liter, the 1 liter, and the 24, and it's an 11 ounce.
11 ounce. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I just found out they have a mead glass too. So I was thinking about picking that up, or a mead mug.
Yeah.
It's a ceramic mug. Skull sent me, or Claw sent me the S one. I still have to go do a mead video for just for that. I told him I would. Yes.
So
yeah, Ryzen, AMDs. I mean, I don't understand how there are still people out there now that are still complaining like Intel's technically better. No. Well, yes, in the single core, maybe. That's about it.
Even there.
Yeah, I know. I was literally earlier, like I was going through the notes, and then I was part of another group, and someone was complaining about, I don't know what everyone's talking about, these AMDs. Intel's still technically the best, and they posted this chart of how Intel's single core is still technically better, but they didn't put price point. They didn't put
did they say core. Did they say up to technically better?
Well, they just did like, here's a single chart and here's the benchmark in this one category, but it didn't tell you the benchmark of what it was doing. And
I'll tell you, I've overclocked my 9900K to 5.1 gigahertz, and I've ran my 3700X at 4.4, 4.5. They're even. They're dead even. Cinebench, multi-core, single core.
Yeah, well, that was his argument that I was going up. Well, that's what his argument was. I was going up against him. He was like, technically, I can overclock mine to 5, and yours states that it doesn't do that. I was like, well, but how much did you pay for yours?
Right.
And what is, and that's, you're only overclocking, and you get a single core push. I have twice as many cores as you.
Right.
Whoop-de-doo.
Right. So, but I do have an upcoming i9-10850K CPU coming in. So stay tuned for that review, because that one should be interesting. It's my first dabble with the 10th gen cores. I've got that coming up. I just got a Sapphire 5700 XT. So I'm going to be doing a review of that. Probably be doing a couple of system builds this next month. I've got a really cool one planned that I'm trying to get all together. I do have some confirmed RTX 3000 cards coming in. I didn't get on the release cycle this time around, but I'm definitely up for the second round of samples to go out. So I've got a number of leads there. So hopefully. John Wynn, $9.99. Chug both. Still.
No. I messaged him back. I was like, I don't care how much you pay Jeff. I'm not chugging both.
Right. Review Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. That will probably be in the cards for the Stan 850K and whatever graphics card I happen to be using with that. I'll definitely give it a look with the 5700 XT. I'll give it a look with the 2080 and probably whatever 3000 series card I decide to look at the time. Knock to a brown mod build. I need to finally do that, because I said I wanted to and then I stopped. But I want to do like a knock to a build that's also like a full-blown water-cooled build. And I've had this vision in my head of how to do that for quite a while, and I need to just bite the bullet and do it and ask everyone for the parts that I need and get it done. Because I think it would be freaking awesome. Am I getting a 3090? What?
I'm no.
I might be. I might be.
Might be, might not be.
Might be. I can neither confirm nor deny. How's that? So $11. Do you think RDNA 2.0 or RDNA 2 will compete with the 3080? We'll get there. We'll get there. I do have that in the notes coming up here. A couple more stories.
Yeah. We will be talking some of that today. I mean, it is kind of one of the big stories of today.
Yeah. Yep. Film it wearing the Noctua hoodie. I think that's going to be a requirement if I end up doing that build. Nobody needs a 3090. No one needed a 2080 Ti. Are you kidding me? But you know why I want one? Because it's cool.
That's right.
Because it's the most powerful graphics card ever made. And I want one.
Oh, perfect.
I can just feel the love for pickle beer. That's not what you're feeling.
No. Trust me, no.
Right.
Go to my channel. Trust me. You'll see the love I have for pickle beer.
Yes.
Steve likes pickle beer.
Yeah.
Or he tolerates it.
Yeah. 3090 because you can. Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally like a Bugatti Veyron. Yeah. Because I want one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No one needs 700 horsepower. No, but I really want it.
Yeah.
Right? Speaking of too much power and too much speed, ADATA has released the first mainstream PCI Express 4.0 drive. The GameX S50 is the latest crop of PCI Express 4.0 drives with up to 3,900 megabytes of sequential read and write performance, 3,200 megabytes per second write performance. And it should land just a little bit north of 15 cents per gigabyte. I think it's 16 cents per gigabyte.
Yeah, so this is aimed to be the big consumer, like to really get consumers into that market of looking into these.
Right.
So it's not technically the fastest.
Right. I will say it is PCI Express 4.0. It is faster than PCIe 3.0 X4.
Yeah.
Than Gen 3 X4, whatever the bloody hell they call it. I will say 3,900 megabytes per second versus 3,400 megabytes per second on the top end X4 drives. I'm not that impressed.
Well,
PCIe 4
but aren't the other ones, aren't they?
5,000.
Well, aren't those more like 20 to 25 cents per gig though?
No. You can get a 1 terabyte drive for $110 that does 3,400 megabytes per second. Silicon Power. I have one right here.
Oh, there you go.
This 480 gig drive is $70 usually. So I don't know the math right off, but that's less than 20 cents.
Yeah.
I think it's closer to like 12 or 13. And they offer a 1 terabyte that fluctuates right around that $110 price point. So you're looking 11 cents per gigabyte for 3,400 write or 3,400 read and 3,200 write.
Yeah.
And so while this is PCI Express 4.0, it's not blowing my socks off with only a 500 megabyte per second increase. And that feels weird to say. They increased the read speed by 500 megabytes per second, and I'm not impressed. I'm sure it's a great drive, and it's certainly better than PCIe 3, but it's also just not.
Well, I mean,
it's not 5,000 either, and 5,000 is what I expect out of a PCIe 4 drive, or at least 4,500 if you're going to give me a budget.
Well, the thing is that this is going to be probably marked as like maybe pre-built into systems, maybe not this model, but similar models like this. The low-end models are pre-built. Like it's got PCIe 4.0 SSD in it, 1 terabyte version, but they won't tell you the technical specs or what model it's from. Right. So they can technically claim it's 4.0, but it's not that that 5,000 megabits read. So this is just this is a company trying to get into the low end version. You want to claim you have a 4.0, and you're going to save a little bit of money. And this is the first model to do that. But are the specs really there? Is it really worth it? I mean, this is like cheap 5G.
Right.
You know, it's like T-Mobile's 5G. Is it true 5G? No, kinda. It's better than
This is AT&T selling their 3G Plus as LTE.
Yeah. You know,
this is what this is.
Yeah.
Right.
So
it's technically better than 3G, so we're just going to call it 4G LTE.
Yeah. So this is more 3.0 plus.
Right.
Even though it goes into a 4.0 PCIe 4.0 slot.
Right. Anyway, Novella Hub says right now it's $54 for the Silicon Power 512. So
at a 512 gig.
That's 10 cents a gig.
Yeah.
So yeah. 10.2 cents per gig, sorry. But yeah, so ADATA, it's cool. I'm glad you're doing it. I need to see a little bit more speed out of that though. Especially for 16 cents a gig when I can save literally $50 and get very, very close to that speeds.
And twice the size.
For 30% less money.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool, but keep going. Razer has leaked some private or personally identifiable information of 100,000 of their customers.
Yeah, plus 1,000.
Yeah. So no credit card data was part of the breach, but everything else was. So number one, kudos to Razer for doing things properly and hashing the credit card data and storing it on a separate server. That's what you should do.
Yep.
But 100,000 plus customers have had their data leaked, which is email address, mailing address, phone numbers, legal names, etc.
Products
they purchased.
Yeah, and those order numbers. It's basically everything but the card.
Right.
It was the whole entire invoice except the payment aspect of the invoice.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, some people will sit there and think, what's the big deal? It's my mailing address. They're like, doesn't matter. I mean, they leaked the product that you got. Mm-hmm. They leaked your email address. They leaked your physical address. That's value right there. The email address and physical address and your name, plus actually even the product, because now they can easily phish you.
Right. They can phish you and say, hey, you bought this thing and you forgot to sign up for the extended warranty. Send us like $12 and we'll...
Yeah, or your warranties, your automatic 120, because there's probably a date on there. Your 120-day warranty is out, expired. Click here now to a free upgrade, and some 12, 13-year-old who just got a brand new Razer mouse.
Yeah.
Gonna click that, who went and downloaded the drivers.
Right. So this breach is doubly egregious. Not only because, number one, it was leaked, number two, it was publicly available, and number three, it was indexed by search engines.
Yeah, Google, you were able to just Google this and find it.
So if you Google your name right now, you might be linked back to your Razer invoice.
Yeah. That was I forgot about that part in the article. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Richard, down in the chat for reminding me of that, because that one had slipped my mind. But yeah, this leak was indexed by search engines.
Yeah.
By searching Razer product numbers, it was fulfilling search requests based on people who had bought that product. So yeah, it's not a great day to be a Razer sysadmin.
Although they said Razer's actually handling this pretty well. Their customer service is being very compliant with everyone and being very responsive. Yeah. So they are stating Razer actually is handling this pretty good. This did happen back in August. Mm-hmm. So this has actually gone pretty fast. Right. And Razer said also, if you've already updated, I think your account information or your drivers, you're fine now.
Yeah.
And so everything should be taken care of, and if you need to do a Razer update, do it. Get the latest update, and you'll be fine. Your information will be secure. So they already issued an apology. So I think Razer, as far as that aspect, because we've talked a number about leaks and them hiding it, I think Razer handled this pretty decently.
I absolutely agree with that. We've talked about a number of leaks on this channel, and we've gone over the wrong responses on how to do things, and we've gone over the right responses on how to do things. And as I've said, I will always judge a company based on how they respond to a problem, because problems happen.
Yeah.
They happen to everyone. But it's how you remediate those problems, what your customer focus is, getting through that, and how you come out the other side, that I will judge you as a company. And Razer's passing this one with flying colors. 3 weeks from exploit to disclosure is a pretty quick turnaround for a large corporation to notify 100,000 people that their information was stolen. They handled everything internally the right way, so your credit card information wasn't stored in plain text in a text file on a searchable database. But the leak did happen. But they're also stepping up to the plate and taking care of it. So kudos to Razer for that. Not enough companies do that.
No, I just wish their products were a little bit cheaper, then I'd buy them.
Yep. So let's see what else.
How's your IPA doing there, Jeff?
I've got about a third left.
Yeah, me too.
How much do you have left?
Me too. Yeah, I got like a third left. Oh God, that's so not. I mean, I will admit it has a picture of honey, so that's why I assumed it said honey ale. I taste honey, so I'll give it that. That's cool.
Well, that's a solid 3.75 in Steve's book, then.
Right? Yeah, I know.
It's what's on the label?
It's stated as the flavor, and so that's at least there. Although there's no carbonation, so it's a flat beer. But I really don't know how they serve beer in the Czech Republic. So maybe there's a CO2 shortage a while ago. So there's no canning date. There's no Best By date. Every warning label I can't read. So I honestly, they had 3 of them, and I just went with the highest alcohol content. That's
as
really
one does.
Really. I mean, they were all the same price, so I was like $6. Here's a 4.5, a 5.0, and a 7. Yep, I'm gonna go with the 7.
Yep.
So I did plan ahead though. I do have a special beer that even you would be jealous of. If I can get through this or need to get through this, whatever. But it's
your beer number 2 is going to be a good one.
My beer number 2 is going to be like something even you would probably save. And I was like, if this turns out bad, which pretty much is, yes. I was like, yeah, this is the redeeming factor. Yeah. Let me just say, cognac barrel aged. Let me put it that way. So.
I keep taunting Steve that I have a 2020 Mother of All Storms in my fridge right now.
Oh, that's literally his favorite beer. I think 2 years in a row I bought him one for his, like, I'll buy a year prior and save it for his birthday the next year.
Yeah,
I think I did that twice, and he just and then he opens it up at Christmas time. So it's a year and a half aged.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's like $25 to $27 a bottle. It's ridiculous.
I got this for $18.
Oh my God. You should have bought them all.
I sold them. No, they had one left.
Oh, and
I snagged it off the shelf. Yeah, this was the last bottle that was there.
The grocery store by you?
Yes. Yeah, they get some special releases, and I was really, really surprised to see that one even still.
Yeah, no, even the bottle shop I go to, every now and then. Now they usually get like a case.
Yeah.
And because they're high priced, they sit around for just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they backstock them. They're like, hey, they haven't set, and then they set it out for the seasonal Christmas time. They do like a rare beer tree, which is just a shelf. But yeah, that's usually when you buy them then. But then they mark it up too.
Yeah.
Because then it's like $32.
Right. Because
it's the holiday season, and then people will buy it.
Right.
So.
Yep. No, I play the game, John. I know how it's done.
I know. But no, I will say Mother of Storms, which is a barley wine. So it's a barrel-aged barley wine.
Yeah.
If you love a good barley wine, sweet malt, caramel, molasses, and then a really good blend of bourbon, smooth bourbon.
Yeah, a really rich oak and bourbon molassesy flavor.
Oh, it's so good. It's really is one of the a really good barley wine. Great cold and warmed up, not ice cold, but decent fridge temperature. But then it warms up, and you're just like, this is butter in a glass, basically.
Yeah. I'm basically saving that one for when we can start doing in-person shows again, so Steve and I can open it.
Lucky.
Yep.
Oh, so I have lots of those beers though. Yeah. we're gonna get smashed the first time, and it's not just the bad beers. Well, yeah, whatever. We're all gonna be slaying on your couch anyway.
Right. Yeah. Oh, the first show back? Are you kidding me? I figured you guys have been sleeping here 2 nights.
Well, I figured like the first live show, maybe we do like I don't know, maybe, but all 4 of us be like, hey, we're celebrating, we gotta be back, and then we'll kind of do like, do we do it for your 100th episode, or was it your 1 year?
We did one for. I think it was episode 100.
We all 4 of us were there, and do something like that the first time all 4 of us can be back. And then I have lots of that. That's the problem is I love this giant new fridge that I have that I had to purchase, but I have so much. I have a whole rack of just rare stuff to save for when people come over. Yeah, and that's what I like drinking beer with. But no one can come over, so I keep saving and saving and saving.
That's my problem. Is I see these rare bottles in shops and I buy them. I'm out of room for the rare bottles.
I know.
But I'm also spending all of my like normal beer budget on these rare bottles, and so I'm running out of things to drink on the show.
and then you're forced to drink Jason's beer.
Right, and then I'm going, well, I'm not going to open a 2017 Parabola tonight.
Yeah, no, exactly. I know. Well, that was my that's kind of my problem. That's why I was like, I gotta start brewing again or something. I need beer just to drink because I have too much stuff I want to share.
What is that Firestone? The Hells or the Helvetica? I have a 2016 of one of those.
Oh,
yeah, they're barley wine 2016.
Yeah.
In the box. Yep.
No, I bought those.
I've got my 2017 Proprietor Stout.
I got one of those. I have like 5 years of Proprietor. But I bought those Anchorage ones. They're like $50 a bottle for a 12 ounce. Mm-hmm. And they get like a 4.6 and a 4.7 on Untapped. And I bought like duplicates of them. And so there was another one because I got a bunch of them, a bunch of different variants. I opened one up for my niece got engaged. So I was like, okay, here. And really it was me, Steve, and her dad. We were the 3 that drank it. But it was, the father of the groom, he drank some. It was like, oh my God, this is the best beer ever. And that was only like a 4.4. And so I have ones that are like 4.6 and 4.7. Rated almost perfect. And so I was like, I'm saving these for when people come over. I need to celebrate. These are beers to celebrate.
Sorry, the comments are getting good here. Bust out the Surly Darkness for the 4-host show. I may just do that one. No more tech news, just first world beer problems from here on out.
Yeah.
Do you think I should SLI a 1080 Ti or get a used 2080 Ti ready to fly FPV? By the way, I love FPV flying. I don't do any drone racing, but I do have I've owned 3 different drones, and right now I've got a whatever the Parrot 2 is. I forget what the name of it is, but I've got the FPV visor for it and the 1 mile radio. That's a lot of fun. Anyway, but SLI is dead. It's dead. It's dead on arrival. It was dead on arrival with the 10 series. There's like 5 games that support it. There's 100 games that you get worse performance in, and there's 700 games that you get no gain in. Yeah. It's dead. Get a used 2080 Ti if you're looking at upgrading.
Well, the thing is, though, even a used 2080 Ti, even right now, most people are still wanting a pretty decent amount out of them. Right. You would almost be better off getting a 370.
3070 is going to be very compelling, although a 3070 is not going to be that much of an increase over a 1080 Ti. I mean, looking at the benchmarks from today, and we'll get into the benchmarks from today.
Yeah. I guess you're right. Well, my almost wondering though is that because the 380 has, I would assume, better ray tracing support than the 2080 Ti.
Yeah, the 3070 will have better ray tracing than that. But the 3070 is only going to be 15-20% more. It's not a huge increase.
No, it's not a huge increase, but if people are still asking $350 to $400 for their 2080 Ti, you're talking $100 more, and you can get.
I think 2080 Ti's are going to be minimum $400 on the used market. I don't think anyone will budge below that.
So then ask Steve.
Right.
But so then wouldn't it? So for an extra $100, you can get the latest model, which is 10-15% better, but you're also getting better ray tracing support.
The 3070, we don't know where it's going to land as far as performance yet. Right now, what we're seeing is significantly better performance for the 3080 over the 2080 Ti. And it over the 2080 Ti, it was about 30 to 40% on average. Tack on an extra 20 to 25% for the 2080.
Yeah.
But going from a 1080 Ti to a 2080 Ti is not a huge jump. It's really not.
No,
it's 15%.
I guess I was more of just like, look, you're going to get the latest. You're going to get the better support.
Right.
That is it worth that little bit of extra money?
If it was me, and this all depends on what resolution you're gaming at. But if you're at 1440p, keep your 1080 Ti.
Yes. You'll be okay. And that actually, really, how much time do you have to wait? Right. That's another thing. If you're like, I need it today, or within a week, then maybe. But if you're like, I can wait till January or February of next year, the 1080 Ti will dramatically drop. You might find a $350 right at Christmas time because someone's looking to unload quickly, or like I need my Christmas list.
Even then, you're going to get $300 for your 1080 Ti. I still don't see the appeal over a 1080 Ti. I just don't. And he says, no problem at the moment. I have a 1080 Ti and I'm going for a 3080. See, and that's a pretty sizable upgrade. We were seeing 30 to 40% over the 2080 Ti. And upwards of 70% on over the 2080. So that is certainly an upgrade. If you're willing to spend the $700 or $800, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. So let's get back into some news, and then we can get into this. So there was some interesting VR news actually recently. Again, leakage.
Yep.
I put that in air quotes.
Go ahead and finish introducing because I got to go grab my other beer.
Yeah, so there was leakage of Facebook leaked their Oculus Quest 2. Now, there's some interesting aspects of this. It's a standalone. They state it's a standalone 4K VR headset. Well, actually, they state it's just about 4K, almost 4K.
Right.
So that's the interesting.
AT&T would have just called it 4K.
Yeah, they do technically don't state it 4K. They say almost 4K, but it's actually almost 2K per screen on the eye. So then they say it's 4K. So
it's Pimax 4K. Okay.
Yes, it's not true 4K.
It's 1/2 4K.
So the other interesting thing is that it's got some internal storage. It comes with 6 gigs of RAM, and I believe the upper package, because it sounded like, at least from what I understood, there was going to be different levels of this, and one of them comes with a 256 gig storage capacity.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see anything though about battery or anything like that. Now they talked about new tracking system and ergonomical joysticks and everything like that. Now this does appear to be was that in and out tracing, the one where you don't need the sensor inside out tracing.
So the first Oculus Quest offered inside out tracking, very similar to the Windows Mixed Reality and a couple other headsets that do that now. The HTC whatever their second gen headset is, I forget what they call it. But Anyway, so this is going to have a new Snapdragon processor. It's nearly 50% faster than the original Oculus Quest. And it kind of leaked out. Now, Facebook did earlier today confirm it. I guess Zuckerberg sent out a thing that said Oculus Quest 2 is official, $299. Which I think is a pretty decent price for a standalone VR headset that is 50% faster than the previous version at, $400 and $500 for the two different storage options. My struggle with this one is the recent decision to require a Facebook login.
I did not read that at all.
Yes. That's not part of the Ars Technica thing, but Facebook issued a statement, and Oculus issued a statement last month, and I think we talked about it on the show, that Oculus is going to start requiring a Facebook login for Oculus services.
That's cool.
Right. I don't mind if it's an Oculus login. I have a little bit of a problem that it's a Facebook login.
Your individual profile login, like an Epic, a Steam store, that's understandable. A game store, that's understandable. The fact that you're telling me I have to now sign up for a social media account that also technically can now then track me,
right, and ties it to me as an individual, not just me as an account holder. Right?
Yeah, no, I don't like that. Although, I mean, I'm sure they're probably just going to state, well, technically you can go create a fake account if you wanted to, another separate fake account, and boom, that's how you get around it, because I'm sure there's a bunch of people on Reddit that'll probably state that.
Right.
It's an annoyance. It shouldn't be a requirement.
Right.
Is the thing. It's stupid. It is stupid. And for all we know, it's going to be tracking, no matter what, it's tracking you, and they're doing it to gather data on you.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Although it is really hard.
It's cool tech.
It's cool tech. That's the thing. Right. It's like, a $299. That's actually, that's as a standalone. Oh, that's pretty cool.
The video card.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, but that was the problem. So, the standalone one with the 6 gigabits RAM, that's a lot. The Snapdragon, the processor, so it's a mobile processor. I didn't know how well that's going to do high-end gaming. I want to know how Facebook is going to do third-level platform gaming on this.
I guess the original Quest does quite well. Now, I've never personally used one, but I'm quite experienced with VR headsets.
Well, yeah. Well, my experience is either through you or it's Windows Mixed Reality, HTV Vive. I'm going through Steam. Mm-hmm. I'm going through Windows. That's my only experience. I haven't, other than the original Oculus, before Facebook bought it.
Yeah,
I've never touched the Facebook version of it.
Right.
And I don't know if the original one even required you to go through if there's a Facebook store or how
it didn't. But those are going to be pushed in next year.
Yeah.
Existing Oculus accounts, I believe by next October, will be rounded into Facebook. And so by next October, everything Oculus will be 100% Facebook integrated.
Are they trying to do like virtual meetings with this or something?
No, they're just wanting you to sign up for a Facebook account.
Yeah, but
make sure you have to have one.
In the long run, they're going to be like, because Facebook is always pushing, be social with everyone, and that type of whatever, to where they're going to be like, now you can do with your Facebook account, and if you have your Oculus Quest 2, have a virtual meeting gathering place with everyone, and there's these virtual rooms you can all meet together in with your avatars. Some stupid Sims type thing that's linked to your Facebook, and I don't know. This is I can see this going south really fast.
Yeah.
But it's cool tech, and it's at a really good price point.
Right. There's a portion of the population who will still buy it regardless of if Facebook owns it.
I hope you get one for free so I can take it from you.
Right. I'm more than just a piece of meat, Jonathan.
This is why I love this channel. Honestly, this is the best part of now I'm like a co-host, but I can't see him, so I don't have to give him beer, but then I don't get anything back.
Right. It
used to be kind of like, hey, Jeff, here's beer. Now give me some tech.
Right. All right, John, here's, I guess, Quadro 5000. Yeah. Here's 12 Core Xeon.
Here, Jeff, here's some Bud Light Lime.
Mm-hmm. We both reminisce about those days. Linux installed $5. Love the channel. Has anyone ever told you kind of look like Ian from Forgotten Weapons?
Oh my!
Yes.
Seriously. This
Yes.
has been like an ongoing thing for day like 3. You started the channel,
right? Yeah, no. On my very first video, someone mentioned I look kind of like Ian from Forgotten Weapons, and that parallel has followed me the entire time. I'd love to meet up with him sometime and do like a dual video. That'd be a lot of fun. For April Fool's a couple years ago, I was actually going to put like a bunch of guns behind me and just do an intro and say welcome back to Forgotten Weapons, and then click right back to craft computing with beer and. But that was right after a difficult time in the country, and it was just totally the wrong time.
Inappropriate to say anything about guns.
Anything. And it was also right when YouTube was banning gun channels left and right. Even Forgotten Weapons got delisted from a lot of things. Ted's Holdover, Hickok 45, they were all just kind of, shifted to the side a little bit. And so it was totally the wrong time to even consider anything humorous around that topic. But yes, I've watched Forgotten Weapons for quite a long time. Love the channel. And I hear I look a lot like Ian. So anyway, I opened my second beer. John, forgive me if I'm leaving you behind here, but
you're just racing past. I'm still on my first 0.4 gallon of beer.
I know. So this is the Hopworks Urban Brewery up in Portland, Oregon. It's their Galactic Imperial Red Ale. This is a 9%.
I've had that. Good beer.
Oh my god, it is good.
Yep. And great label too.
Yes, yeah. I bought it because of the label and stayed for the Imperial Red. But fantastic beer. Delicious malty profile on this. One of my favorite Northwest Reds, up there with Dawn of the Red from Ninkasi.
Even better, because I think it's a little better because it's a little sweeter and higher boozy.
It's a little bit sweeter and it's a little bit boozier. Because Dawn of the Red's a 6.5 if I remember right.
Yeah, it's like 6.5 or 7 something like that. But a decent beer. Mm-hmm. Oregon beer. I love how we can say 6.5, 7. Yeah, that's okay. And everywhere else in the country on like the East Coast, Midwest, like 4.5, 3. You know, we're like, if it's not 7%, that's not even a beer. Yeah,
like I'll buy a 6%, but it's
like
hard to consider it.
That's like
when I'm looking at the other options.
I know it's like a pale ale. Like, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah, what's funny is technically any IPA over 7% is a double. They don't even bother listing it as a double IPA because we don't consider it double until it's 9.5.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's got to be big. They're like, this is a double. They don't even say Imperial. So that's just an IPA.
That's just an IPA. Right.
Yeah, we make that. Yeah, 6.5 pales all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like
we get 6.0 Pilsners for crying out loud.
I was going to say, it's like a 5.5, 6% Pilsner or lager. And it's just like, this is how we do it. Well, the problem is, though, that's why we don't like Pilsners or lagers, because they're overly hop and then overly alcohol. Yeah. And it's like, I'm just going to go get the IPA.
Right. And not only that, but I was in the grocery store the other day and I was looking at a couple of different beers, and they had a beer label that kind of drew me in, and I don't remember what it was right off, but you go down the aisle and you go, oh, what is that? Mm-hmm. And you start looking at it and you go, oh, that looks kind of good. And then you realize it's a Pilsner, and it's 5.8%. And you're like, oh, it's a heavy Pilsner, and it's dry hopped, and it's this and it's that. And it's like $17 for a 4-pack. And it's like, I can get a 9% double for less money.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. It's just like, I know. I've had that conversation with you, Steve, and so many people of like, you go to the beer shop and you're like, okay, that's interesting. That's something new. Right. But I'm paying a premium and I might not like it, to where there's something over here. I may not like it to, be as great as it is, but it's half the price of that. It's higher ABV. And that's the style I really like. Right. Yep. So
yeah, there's a reason craft lagers and pilsners don't do as well. It's because they're hitting above their weight class as far as price point goes.
Yeah, that is really it. It's the price point, but it also it's harder to actually manufacture those.
Yes.
Especially in
manufacture
the north.
them well.
Yeah, and here in the Northwest, we don't really have the temperature. Canada, someplace colder, it's really easy to do that because you don't have to have a refrigerated
brewed as cold as the Rockies.
Yeah, but then they really struggle with IPAs and ales
with rice and corn syrup.
So, but yeah, so all right, so we're good. We can go into the 3080 news.
All right, let's get into the RTX 3080. Reviews went live this morning at 9 a.m. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been privy to have hands-on to a card myself. I do have some on the way. So I will be getting a look at the 3080 at some point in the very near future. But I think overall, the reception in the reviews was very, very positive. So, yep. $699 for the Founders Edition card. And you're getting a pretty massive upgrade over any existing graphics card that's on the market for $699.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Agree.
So for those who don't know the raw specs, the RTX 3080 has 8,704 CUDA cores, 772 tensor cores, and 68 RT cores. Base clock of 1440 megahertz, boost clock of 1710, although most of the reviews were seeing boost clocks right around 1950 to 2000 megahertz. Just stock settings, that's what it hit. And so using the automatic boost control works very, very well. You get about a 2 to 3 to 4 to 5% improvement if you up your sliders in whatever overclocking utility you like. But out of the box clocks, very, very good, very impressive.
Yeah.
10 gigabytes of GDDR6, 19 gigabit per second memory bus on a 320-bit bus. Max bandwidth of about 760 gigabytes per second. Linked in the video description is this article from Video Cards, which is a review roundup from pretty much everyone. Although I noticed they don't have Epos Vox on here. So also go check out Epos Vox.
So Jeff and I kind of talked about this, and I even mentioned Epos Vox. I think he takes a different approach to this one. It took him a little bit longer. He released it a little bit later in the day, but I think he took his time. It is a bit longer video, but honestly, he marks all the things. It's a very well done video, and he's even coming out with a second video.
Like tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, and so it's every angle of this card. I mean, other than literally breaking the card down, which Gamer Nexus does, but every usage of this card from any perspective, gamer, developer, streamer, video recorder, editing, he takes every aspect of it, and he tells you the benefits and downsides of this card. I thought it was a fantastic video for anyone in any of those fields. Mm-hmm. Go watch that.
Yeah. Most of the review sites and channels went over the gaming specs. If you're interested in the professional content development, Epos Vox covered all of your bases, from the AV1 encoding to NVNC to game streaming to a lot of other tests that he ran on this card. So phenomenal
job. Phenomenal review. Yeah, very, very good. Very worth the couple extra hours to wait in the day for him to release. I think he only released an hour late compared to everyone else.
Yeah. It's well done, but Epos Vox sounds so needy. I'm your stream professor. He didn't give himself that name. The community gave him that name, and he adopted it. Yeah. So that's kind of like Gamers Nexus embracing Tech Jesus. It's a little, self-righteous to go, I'm Tech Jesus. But if the community names you as such, you take that and you run.
Yeah.
And so the community named Epos Vox, the stream professor. So I don't blame him at all. Now, unfortunately, I'm the alcoholic tech, so that's the moniker that I got. I'm still shopping alternatives. So if you have something better,
honestly,
let me know.
all I heard was the fun tech guy. That's all. That's like the guy everyone wants to be like. All right, let's get the alcoholic tech guy at my party, because that's going to be a fun time. That's all I heard.
Yeah.
And then the co-host too, because they're really fun too.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, go check out his review. But anyway, let's get into yours and mine impressions of the RTX 3080. As I said, most of what I saw, very, very overly positive.
Yeah. So I'll go with mine first, because I bet yours is going to be a bit more detailed than mine, because mine's a bit just a broader aspect. You're probably going to delve more into this card. I was looking at more of the just everyday user consumer aspect of like a new person looking at this card. Hey, do I want to buy this card? This is the brand new card, and here's my excitement for it. So I was very pleased with the performance. Most of this as a launch for gen versus next gen, the 2080 versus the 3080, fantastic, amazing performance, big, huge leap. Honestly, most of the time I expect a 20 to 25% jump, and the price point to be the exact same as the previous card on launch date, if not maybe $100 more, maybe $50 more sometimes. Amazingly, that this being cheaper, way more than the 2080, and having roughly, from my understanding, or from what I saw from people's performances, it ranged from 50 to 70, sometimes even 80% increase on certain games and aspects, was fantastic. But kind of what we hinted earlier on, I saw that if you have a 2080 Ti, you spent that much money, I'm sorry, you might have lost some money, boo-hoo on you. People on the internet warned you never to, don't buy this. It's way too expensive. Yeah. But my aspect is like, this is a huge, huge leap forward in graphics cards. I think this is a fantastic value to buy. I think this is going to be a card that is going to retain its value longer than previous generations.
Yes.
Cards will always die, but this will retain its value, I think, just a little bit longer. Some classic value. And also, what I was really impressed with, because I had my huge doubts of the heatsink, everyone sat there and said, no, they have that too. That seemed to be put to rest.
Draws 100 more watts than the 2080 and ran 4 or 5 degrees cooler.
Yeah, I was like, everyone was like, how are they doing this? And I was like, I don't know.
And not only that, but it was the second fear was, well, it's going to warm up your CPU and your RAM. And that's true. But it warmed up the CPU and the RAM less than the 2080 Founders card.
Yeah. So it was, technically it does, but less.
Right.
So here's a cheaper card that performs 50% better.
Yep.
And here you go.
Right.
And the noise was half the quiet as the Founders 2080.
Right.
So although I'm not really a noise guy, you more are than I am, because I'm usually wearing headphones or I'm blasting it really loud, so I don't really hear it. Yeah. So, but I know some people like that. Anyways, so I think it's a great card. I think it's a great buy. I think everything they stated, they delivered. I think they delivered. So
yeah. I absolutely agree with that. Now, before I get into my impression of it, I do want to call out Questionable Commands for hitting me a little bit below the belt. Get the alcoholic tech guy at my party. We'll have a lot of fun, and I can ask him to fix my PC in the upstairs office, away from the fun, after he's fixed our cocktails.
No.
That's happened before.
Oh.
Yeah. So I do make a very good mobile bar. I've got a couple of different mobile bar kits. John has experienced my mobile bar a couple of times.
A couple of times. Yeah, we've been over.
Yes, you've been over. You've seen my in-person bar, which is even more impressive.
Oh, yes.
But my mobile bar, I can throw together like 15 bottles and make you literally anything you want.
Oh, yes.
Fresh garnishes, craft, the way you should make a craft cocktail. But I've also been to a party where I was supposed to be quasi-hosting it as the bartender, and been called away to solve tech issues, and ended up spending like 2 hours away from everyone else, half drunk, while everyone else is having fun, and I'm sitting there like, yeah.
I mean, if you're the host, so I'll talk to my wife and everything. Anytime I'm the host or even semi-host, you don't get fun. You don't really have fun. No. I mean, heck, I even at the bar when I was doing it and I was hosting events, it's like you were just working your butt off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the host. It's more of your enjoyment is you should be enjoying the smiles of everyone else. Now, working to fix problems or someone else's problems, now that's not acceptable. Yeah. That's stupid. But of like, hey, we need more booze, we need more ice. How do you fix this cocktail? Oh, there's something I want to see. I was supposed to help you with this cocktail.
Hey, the projector's not working. Hey, the this to that, this to that. I'm here to fix cocktails. That's what you paid me to do.
Oh yeah, But if you're the actual like, hey, I'm the host of the party, I understand that. But if you were invited, and then said, now go fix this for me, that's
happened too.
Yeah, I know.
I almost refuse to work on family's tech anymore because it's like I do this for a living. I'm not going to come home and do it for free. I'm sorry. As much as it pains me, I'm sorry. I would like to help you, but I'm not going to.
It's more anyway. I'll give you the free advice. Do it yourself.
Right. My impressions of the 3080 reviews. I was very impressed. I was very, very impressed. So upwards of 320 or 320 watt power draw versus the 215 watt of the 2080, 250 watt of the 2080 Ti. We're seeing on average around a 70% performance improvement for a 50% increase in power usage. And that's a pretty good number to be on. So that means your per core instruction set is now going faster than it was before. That means you are more power efficient than you were before. And that means you're making bigger dies and getting better bins than you were before. So very, very impressive in that regard. Moving into the price to performance, it's not even close. I've said this many times. I felt Turing was a stopgap between Pascal and whatever the next generation card was. And there was a lot of confusion leading up to the release of Turing. In fact, almost 18 months ago now, we talked about on this show the near release of Ampere. Yep. Ampere GPUs were rumored to be released, I believe, March 20th-ish of 2018 or 2019. We were talking about it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's Turing instead. Okay, well, what's Turing got? And for a while it was Volta too. Remember Volta?
Oh,
the one card they made? Right. But so when Turing came out, you got the same performance at the same price point, at the same wattage, but with ray tracing. And that launch was very unimpressive. The technology was cool when it was used right, but it wasn't game-changing enough, and there wasn't enough software support to warrant going out and dropping $800 on a 2080 Ti to replace my on a 2080 to replace my 1080, or $1,200 to replace my 1080 Ti with a 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
The support wasn't there, and the gains from the 80 series to the 80 series or the 80 Ti to the 80 Ti was 10 to 15%. It wasn't great.
Yeah, it seemed, I will say, every game from even the 9 series keep up 15-20% at the most, right? Something like that. So
10, 15, 20% was kind of the limit of what you got from an 80 series to an 80 series. And the tier below it became the old tier. And so the 2070 the 2070 became the 80 series tier at the $500 price point.
Yeah.
The 2080 became the 80 Ti series tier at the $700 or $800 price point. And the 80 Ti became the Titan at the $1,200 price point.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, I'm impressed because I expected them to do the same thing with this generation. I expected a 2080 at $1,200. I expected a 2080 Ti, or a 3080 at $1,200. I expected a 3080 Ti at almost $2,000.
Which they don't even have a 3080 Ti technically.
Well, they have a 3090.
Yeah, well, yeah. They might have
I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed that not only did they match / beat the previous generation price points, the performance on the 3080 compared to the 2080 has gone up about 70%.
Yeah.
And so value per dollar, holy crap, it's there.
It's like a 70% drop in price, right, and then a 70% increase in performance.
Right. Now, if we got a 30% increase from Pascal to Turing, and then another 30% increase from Turing to Ampere, we'd be in the same position, and we'd be talking a completely different thing. But we got like 10 or 15%. And then we got a 70% lead. So we're at the same performance level that I think we always expected Ampere and the next generation from Pascal to be. It just took them a generation in between.
Yeah, it almost seems like the 20 series was a pointless series, and they just had to release it. And they're like, look, we're almost there, but we have to release something because we said we would.
It was a stopgap that was not ready for prime time.
Yeah. And they were like, we got a big announcement. Oh, we haven't worked out all the bugs yet. What do we do? Okay, increase the old one by 15%. Go.
Right.
And that'll work with some ray tracing. Okay, yeah, it works with ray tracing. Great.
Right.
We messed up because we overcharged. How do we make this up? And 3080, 3070, wow, price point per performance is just, well, at least as 3080 we know. But so I was going to ask you, so with this 3080 confirmation, do you think we can believe the specs then of the 3090 and 3070?
Yes.
Pretty similar, or at least
pretty similar,
with a good level of margin error.
We can now do the calculations based on the CUDA count, expected performance, core speeds, etc., to extrapolate performance numbers to those other cards, and be within a margin of error if that's acceptable.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet because the reviews just came out today, and again, I've been a little spacey today, so I don't feel like doing that. Right. I'm still coughing up smoke, and I'm not a smoker.
See, that's a review you could do. Could the 3080 RTX 3080 handle a atmosphere or air condition of 999 in the Salem, Oregon area? What's the heat sink now like?
Right. Well, for those who said how much of that crap is getting into your servers now because of your air conditioner. Well, remember, the air conditioner still has a filter on it. Now, I had to go out and blow out the filter already, and oh my God, that thing was nasty.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm breathing that crap. And I already replaced my HVAC filter. I replaced that last Friday. And then I went to buy more, and they were sold out everywhere. Literally every filter aisle in every store that I walked into on Friday was picked completely clean. Well, there was not a single air filter you could buy in any size and any dimension that was in stock.
It's because of all the people with the window stuff. Is they're taking the air filters and just putting it over the window filters too.
Yep.
Is the thing.
They're putting them over the windows. They're duct taping them closed. They're creating ghetto air purifiers with a box fan and a couple air filters. And I got onto Amazon as soon as I got home Friday, and I ordered in a 12-pack of air filters for my HVAC and another 6-pack of air filters to make some ghetto air cooler or air purifiers. Because I need to get the crap out of my house. Oh yeah. There's a dust inside my house from ash from outside.
Oh yeah.
And we aren't opening doors or windows right now.
It was so bad that Amazon wouldn't actually even deliver to my town. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're like, nope, air quality is too bad for our drivers.
They canceled deliveries until Friday in my area.
Yeah. They extended ours like an extra week and a half.
Yeah.
They're like, nope, can't do it till then. It's too bad. But okay, so I want to get back to the GeForce. So
Oh, you're keeping me on track. That's
I am keeping well. I'm kind of interested in this, and I think other people are, and I think this can kind of be your GeForce RTX mini review. Yes. Anyway, so everyone's talking about the 3090 then. So I think the 3070 is going to be a really great value for its dollar if we're talking performance comparative. I think it's going to be the new budget card.
Well, you took the $1,200 performance card and you dropped it to $500. It's going to sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, exactly. Now, a lot of people are saying, okay, why should I buy a 3090 when it's not double the performance of the 3080 and it's double the price?
Because it's still 25% faster, and it's not double the price. It's $700 to $1,200, and you always pay more for the flagship. The flagship is never a good investment long term.
The 3090. So the 3090 is not the flagship. The 3080 is the flagship.
No, the 3090. You're arguing semantics. Let me tell you what actually is.
Okay.
They came out and they said the 3080 is the new flagship of the Ampere series.
Yeah.
Then they introduced the 3070, and then they introduced the 3090 as another card in the same series, which is still a GeForce 3000 series card with the same naming monkier at a higher price point. I'm sorry, the 3090 is the flagship.
Okay. All right.
Whether or not NVIDIA is calling it that, the Titan is not a gaming card. Excuse me, but bullshit, the Titan has always been a gaming card. The Quadro is not a gaming card. You can argue that all day, but the Titan had all the GeForce features with the same boost clocks and everything else. The Titan was always a gaming card, and it was always about the enthusiasts getting more than the current generation TI cards. It's always been about that. NVIDIA doesn't want to recognize it as that because it also eats into their Quadro market because it's a better performing card for less money. But the 3090 is the flagship card at $1,200. And this time it even has the same name.
No, is it 12? I thought it was more than that. I thought it was
$1,200. $1,200.
I thought it was 13. I thought it was like $12.99.
I think it's $11.99. It's $1,200.
Okay.
So it's $499 for the 3070. It's $699 for the 3080, and it's $11.99 for the 3090.
No. Pricing starts at $14.99. So 14. That's what I was at. So
I could have swore.
No, because when we talked about it 2 weeks ago, it was double the price, but it was still within like, holy crap! It's supposed to be so huge. Yeah, no, even your state, it's $14.99 on the chart you gave me.
For some reason, I was thinking $1,200. I was probably thinking 2080 Ti.
Because we talked about the 2080 Ti, or we talked about the 380 Ti in the video that you and I did 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
And so that's what was my point. So
Steve. The 2070 is a flagship card, and you can buy that from me for $350. If anyone wants to buy Steve's 2070 Super, I'll autograph it, and you can get it for $350.
Yeah, we'll all autograph it.
Yeah, let me know if you want it. I'll autograph it, whatever that's worth extra to you. $350, it's yours. I'll ship it for free.
There you go. Yeah, well, so that was my point. Is the 390 at $1,500?
Okay.
So
what I'll say.
You're at. Okay, go ahead.
What I'll say to that, you always pay a premium for the flagship card.
Okay.
The Titan has always been more than the TI by an exorbitant amount, and it's never fiscally sound. Never. Now, based on raw CUDA core counts, we're seeing about a 25% increase. We should see about a 25% increase in performance. So 25% increase for double the cost.
Oh, yeah. So
for some, 25% is going to be worth that.
Well, I mean, we're talking a whole theoretical next gen upgrade, theoretically.
Right.
You know, from the. So is it worth it? But now, also, if I'm remembering correctly, the 3090, though, needs like a really high power supply.
It's the same single 12 pin.
It's a single 12 pin, but they're recommending, for the 3080, they're recommending a 750 watt minimum power supply.
Right. Likely with the system that you're going to pair with it, which is probably like a Threadripper.
30 watts more.
Which is likely a Threadripper 3970X, 24, 32 cores. You're going to need a beefy power supply.
Well,
but if you're putting if you're putting $1,500 into a graphics card, you better freaking buy a $300 power supply.
Well, okay, yeah, but okay, the 3090, and then though the slot that it's supposed to go into, though, a lot of older motherboards can't support it. So you're gonna have to buy a brand new motherboard too. Where the 3080,
it's also 2.5 times the video memory. It's 24 gigs of video memory versus 10.
Okay. So my point though is that, to your perspective, I understand for your perspective, you're saying that for you, as a streamer, as a gamer, a YouTuber, everything, this is like the bang for your buck. But for the everyday person, what's them to draw them to the 3090? Because most likely then they're going to have to do a whole brand new build just around that card.
What resolution are you gaming at?
Most people, I would
50% is at 1080p.
1080p 50% and then of people, 1440.
50% of people, according to Steam, are on 1080p.
50. Okay, so yeah, 1080p.
We'll start there.
And so the 380.
So 50% of people who are gaming at 1080p are not going to spend $1,500 on a graphics card.
No, they're not.
Okay. How many people are gaming at 1440? Well, that's like 20% of the market. Okay. Well, that's 70% of the market that is not going to be in the market for a 3090.
Yes.
What if you're at like ultra wide 1440p? You spent $1,300 on an ultra wide monitor. Maybe you're in the market, but you're in 5% of that market. What if you this? What if you that? There are only like 15% of people who are gaming at 4K. It's a very small market. And of that 15%, not all of them are going to be in the market for a 3090. This is an enthusiast level card.
This is. So shouldn't then technically, I understand then why RTX or NVIDIA is saying the 3080 is the flagship. Because that's the one everyone's going to go for.
That's what they're stating.
But you know why they technically states that it's the 3090.
Do you know why they named the 3090 instead of the Titan A?
Or you mean the TI?
No, the Titan A.
Or why?
This is a Titan card.
Okay.
Make no bones about it. This is a Titan card. I think they're worried AMD has something. And the further out you push the flagship, the more you can claim we still win.
Okay. And
NVIDIA is stating the 3080 is the flagship. This is our top level gaming card. The 3090 is not for you plebs. This is for, the highest of the high-end content creators and 3D developers who we would normally lead to the Quadro, but instead we're going to sell you a GeForce card. Does that pan out in NVIDIA's marketing? No, that doesn't pan out in NVIDIA's marketing. NVIDIA came out in their gaming announcement and said, we have a 3080, we have a 3070, and then we have a carrot on a stick. That's exactly what they did. And that carrot on a stick is the RTX 3090, and it is the pie in the sky that every gamer is going to want.
That's okay.
The reason they did that is to hold that carrot out a little bit further and further out of reach from AMD. Because even if AMD competes with the 3080 now, if they can't compete with the 3090, NVIDIA still wins. I
don't think they're going to be. I think they're going to be struggling to compete with the 3070. Honestly,
we'll see what happens.
That should be renounced really soon. But I honestly think they're going to be competing with the 3070, and their price points will probably be the same and maybe or comparable. I'm still probably going to go with the GeForce. But really, I mean,
they're both GeForce cards. 3090 is the GeForce 3090.
I'm just saying this just to create conversation and content. I agree with everything you're stating. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Right. But I mean, I want the 3090. I will never use it. I'll probably never use 90% of what it can do.
But you get my hand-me-downs in 2 generations when I start pumping cards.
I want the carrot. Well, then go buy Steve's 2080
2070
Ti.
Super.
Yeah, and go and give it to me. I mean, Steve, if you wanted to, I got a couple of like beers. I'll just trade you for your graphics card. It's like, and I'll got a bottle of rum.
I got more than that on my liquor shelf.
Yeah, so
right.
I don't know
we can get there.
Yeah, we can get there to trade, so it's fine. Yeah, so I like that. I'm really looking forward. So the 3090 comes out in 2 weeks, something like that.
2 weeks and then 4 weeks for the 3070.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna have the next whole holiday season, and then AMD's graphics cards are supposed to come out.
They're going to be announced on October 28th.
Yeah.
I don't know when the review embargo for that is or when the release date is.
So we're going to have a great third quarter, beginning first quarter for graphics cards, price points. It's going to be a really fun time.
We're going to have a great right after Christmas used parts sale.
Yes, exactly. Everyone's going to have fun.
If you love the used market, oh my God, get ready for December 26th.
Yep, exactly. So
that's when the fun will begin.
Yeah. So this, honestly, you're probably going to hear almost every week on Talking Heads, a new graphics card, something. This leak, that leak, this benchmark, that benchmark, probably really soon. So I think this is going to be a fun time. I think it was very funny. After I watched all the reviewers, you watch the I think it was AMD or not AMD, sorry, AMD, the TV channel, but they did the Halt and Catch Fire TV shows about the retro computer Apple, and it kind of hit on the idea of how the old PCs were being built, and all these little third parties were just fighting for the next one, and then the Apple II came and everything like that. It to me is like, oh, this feels like that right now with graphics cards, with NVIDIA and AMD, and then Intel trying to come up with the mobile stuff. It's just like, everyone's coming in with like different angles and different aspects, and it's just a free for all, and it's actually being extremely great for the consumer. Again, like you said, competition is great for the consumer.
Yep, we win.
And
remember last generation when there was no competition and we got 15% and a hearty handshake and a pat on the back and said, "Here, give us your money." From AMD or from NVIDIA, from Intel, and all of a sudden there's some competition in the CPU market and we're all winning. And all of a sudden there's a little bit of competition in the GPU market and we're all winning.
Yep.
That's what happens.
So, it's getting a little bit late. Let's get into beer news.
Let's do a little bit of beer news. First off, two quick questions I want to hit real quick. Personality disorder. And I'm not calling you out. That's just your name.
I thought that was like, what?
For digital art and animation, should I purchase a used 2080 Ti or a 3080 upgrading from a 2070 Super? You're going to want the 3080.
Yeah.
Period.
And at the same time, go watch Fox's video. He talks about that type of stuff.
Yeah, he dives into a little bit of that. Go look up his review, but you're going to want the 3080. And
he does compare it's not a TI, but he does compare a 2080, but then he gives you the specs.
Right.
So it's a really good review. Again, we were talking about that.
And Swilly, does the YouTube join button get access to your Discord? It does not, because there is no Discord integration in the YouTube API. So if you want access to the Discord, you need to follow the link down in the description to the Patreon. It's still just a minimum donation of $1 per month, or minimum tip, I guess I should call it, because the donation is to charity and mine is, please keep my lights on.
Yes, it really does. And honestly, once you get into the Discord, you're like, this dollar is a steal. Yeah. Honestly, you're going to probably want to up it more. It's a fantastic community. You sitting there thinking most communities are just constantly talk tech. Yeah, Jeff already knows I'm going to go in the spiel of this. But it's a great channel. It's a great community. There's everything in there you'd probably ever want in a Discord channel. There is literally cars. There's literally selling points. There's meme wars. There's humor. There's food and beverage. And every single one is active. There is a tutorial section. It's
not even ran by me. It's just community members learn how to solder and how to properly apply caulk.
Yeah, no, I mean, everyone,
it's amazing.
It is organically grown and it is a great community. It's probably one of the better communities in Discord I've ever seen. And Jeff's literally only charging $1 for it. And you're going to go in there and be like, I have to pay more. I'm literally paying more for for a pizza, and I'm getting more entertainment from Jeff's Discord. I have to pay him more. And so, and literally, it actually does. It is 100% true. The money that goes into Jeff's Discord does actually pay or his lights or the project and videos you see. It's not him spending it on beer or something else. It's going back into his actual channel.
I spent some of it on beer. I'm going to be honest.
Very well.
Totally honest.
Yeah. So, plus you get to see me in there, and you get to talk to Steve, and you get to talk to Rhett and the other hosts in Talking Heads. And honestly, we're fun. We're decent
most of the time.
You know, you tag us, we'll talk back. You know, anyways,
the join button gets you a fancy craft computing icon. It does indeed. That is a perk of joining on YouTube. Is when you chat, you get a little craft computing icon, which is awesome if you like the craft computing icon. And both of them help me out tremendously. Do not get me wrong. I am eternally grateful for both. But the Patreon, you can chat with me directly. There's actually some rewards to that. Occasionally, you'll get some early access videos if I finish them on time. Wow, John, look at you.
Oh God!
You're like Frodo at the end of the trilogy. It's over. It's done.
God, that was bad. I don't even want to open that good beer because it's like, ugh. I might save myself for the after show.
This red is really good.
Yeah. Okay, you have that. I'm probably pretty good. I'm going to save myself for the after show. I do have. Oh, well, we'll get into that. Anyways, so Jeff Discord, it's awesome. Let's get into a little bit of tech news, and then we can do some game and entertainment.
So we had RTX release news and Nissan Z prototype chats going simultaneously to tell you like the diversity of what's in there. It's great.
Oh yeah. Also, there is a whole channel in the Discord just dedicated to the Talking Heads live chat. So. Yep. There is a special
which
live
I have not
chat.
been keeping up on tonight,
I know. Me neither. But there is a whole section that the people in there, they are fantastic people, and there are inside jokes that you get that we talk about throughout the week, and they bring them back up. There are GIFs and memes that get made of us that we laugh at in the middle of shows. You don't get access to that, and literally, it's only minimum $1 a month to get access to that. And it's fantastic. You might see one every now and then on our Twitter, but you know, so check us out on the social media stuff too. Doc Muka, Cargo Bay 1 and 2 cost me more. Yeah. So yeah, we have a whole section of, I forget what is Cargo Bay. That is
buy, sell, trade, and retail sales.
Yeah, we have our own personal Craigslist section, technically,
right?
For $1, and it's tech area oriented stuff, good stuff. Not that like, I don't. This is shady.
Parker says, :QT Jeff. Yeah, you need to get access to the Discord to see what that emoji is.
There are plenty of just reaction stuff.
If you like Futurama and Star Trek reaction emojis and you want them in your other Discords, those are worth the $1 on their own.
Yes, they are. Somehow everyone keeps making stuff of us too.
I know.
I think there's
your low-res loading one is one of my favorites.
that is a great one.
The 8-bit John, Jeff.
The 8-bit John one was a fantastic. I laughed so hard when I saw that. Anyways, some beer news.
Yes. So take it away.
Yeah. Yuenglings. If you do not know, Yuenglings is actually the largest actual still technical craft brewing company in the United States.
Isn't that like Yoo-hoo?
Yes. They're Yuenglings. Or what is it? Anakin.
Sorry, I was slaying some Yuenglings.
Yeah, Anakin slaying some Yuenglings. So Yuenglings is actually still 51% independently owned. So they still are considered craft. But unfortunately, they are a East Coast brewery. And so us on the West Coast have never been actually able to enjoy the lager. It's not, from my understanding, not all that great, but still, it's one of those things you want to experience. Well, they have actually partnered up in a historic partnership with Molson Coors. Now, Molson Coors did not buy them out. They did not do anything like that. But Yuenglings are large enough to contract out Molson Coors to brew Yuenglings beer and distribute it nationwide. So now we should be able to get to, within the next couple of months, Yuenglings beer here on the West Coast, the Midwest, the East Coast, wherever you are in the United States. I believe the lower 48 states. You should be able to get Yuenglings within the next couple of months, and it's all thanks to this partnership.
Which is actually pretty big news because, like you said, Yuenglings is the largest, still technically craft, independent brewery that's out there.
Yes.
I mean, you think of Stone, you think of Ninkasi, you think of Deschutes, you think of a lot of those. Go to the grocery store and pick one up, and that's always in the craft beer section or always on tap at whatever tap house you go to nationwide. Yuenglings is up in that conversation.
Yeah, no, on the East Coast, Yuenglings is like our version of Henry Weinhardt's, or at least kind of what it used to be, and it's always around. Right. That was the East Coast. It's a staple. It's been in the family. It's still in the family for that many generations. It's sixth generation still owned, family owned. Right. So
the fact that they're, basically contracting out to Molson Coors to distribute nationwide, that's awesome. It really is. It's a win for craft beer. It's a win for some of the independent breweries that are out there.
It really is. It shows that technically, if you still stick to your guns, people still like your product and you push it through. Yeah, it may not be in your lifetime, but if you instill that, mentality into your children and they continue on, it can prosper and grow because your product and the thing that you love continues to be good. I am on actually a Reddit channel that's like, we only talk about Yuenglings stuff. And I'm like, I can't get it here in the West Coast. And people are trading Yuenglings lager. It's just a lager. That's all it is. It's nothing special.
Right.
And honestly, I hear it's not that great.
Right. But they're clamoring for it like it's a, modern times special or a who's our great notion.
Yeah, a great notion. So on the West Coast here, it's when we get it, it's probably going to be a bit of like on a couple of bottle stores shelves of like, here's the specialty thing.
Right. I've seen it in a couple bottle shops here and there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we travel over to the East Coast, but now it's going to be like, hey, we now carry this full time. And for the first couple of months, it's probably going to sell out quick because everyone on the West Coast here is going to want to try it because they've heard about it for so long. Everyone's heard of Yuenglings. Yep. There's been plenty of memes about it. Like we said, the Star Wars one. There's been plenty of other throughout culture and history commercials. So I think this is a really cool thing. So, I mean, honestly, I'm looking forward to trying it. I might even do a review. But, I wouldn't be the first and won't be the last. Yeah. So, yeah. I think I just find that very cool, very interesting. It's a very monumental thing in the craft beer world that the largest thing. Also, what I found really cool was the largest craft beer brewery was able to contract with the second largest domestic beer to contract them out. Be like, hey, we're big enough to compete with you guys.
Right. So Michael's saying, I find it odd that I'm okay with Yuengling when it tastes the same as Budweiser. In a blind test, I don't know that I'd be able to tell the difference. And it's the same quality and price as Budweiser. The thing with Yuenglings is they're still an independent brewery. And that's why I'm okay with it. Yeah. If you know what it is and the price point is right, that's totally fine. And tasting like Budweiser or not, that's, 6 one, half a dozen another. John did a video on the cheapest craft beer, which is the 10 Barrel Pub Beer, which is still technically an InBev owned company out of Bend, Oregon, against the pub beer lager versus Budweiser versus Coors versus Silver Bullet versus
a bunch of other domestics. Yeah,
right. And it was kind of a toss up. Now I think Budweiser was like all over the board. Banquet beer was consistently number 1 or 2, and to like pub beer. Basic pub beer was either 1 or 2
because I did a large spectrum of people.
Right.
It wasn't just my reviews. It was a large amount of people. It was pub beer, the craft version, came in first or second every time of individual people's flavors.
Right.
So whereas I would, there is a little bit of love. There is a little bit of, I don't know, you know, there's a little bit of difference in the sense of having a craft versus domestic beer. I'm really intrigued of trying this Yuenglings beer because it is craft. I want to know the ingredients. Now, the fact that it's going to be contracted out, I know I've had contracted beers before.
You catch your microphone okay?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had contracted beers before. Technically, Stone's Arrogant Bastard is a contracted beer. And so per state is actually brewed from different places.
Right.
So you can have a slight different flavor. So I'm curious to still try it. But I don't know. I still think it might be better. I don't know. Ingredients, I think because you're contracting out, they're required to do this ingredient and their recipe.
Right. So
should be fine because they're large enough on the East Coast to have that large scale capacity.
Okay, enough of this. Get to the Star Trek beer.
All right. Yes. So anyways, enough of this. So Star Trek wine. We talked about this prior to Picard. Yeah. Just prior to the premiere of Star Trek Picard, there was a Picard, the Chateau Picard.
Chateau Picard.
Oh, what do I have here?
You
Chateau Picard. That's right. I have it. Jeff, do you have it? Oh,
it was too much.
Do I have the limited edition?
Oh,
yes,
you bastard!
I have. This is the one I probably will keep.
Yes.
I figured. I told my wife. I was like, oh, I'll open this with Jeff. She hates red wine, so I was like, oh yeah, that's the one I'll have with Jeff.
Yep.
Anyways, so season 1 of Picard ended, and I believe these were very popular. And
by the way,
sold out.
By episode 4 of Star Trek Picard, I had submitted my resignation. So I was not in the market to buy that pack.
Well, what was so funny was I put that pack on my Christmas list, and I marked it as number 1, and like this is the one I want. This is the first gift I want.
I want to open this on Christmas.
I want to open this. Any other gift, this is the first. This is the one gift I want. My wife's like, I thought you were joking, and she didn't get it for me. And so she had to get it on it was ended up being later this year on our anniversary on the second run of everything. I was like, I was Christmas Day. I'm opening everything and like last present, I'm like, all right, it's going to be Chateau Picard. Where is it?
Right.
You know, I was like, I really wanted that. I marked it like 7 stars. Like, this is the number 1 I want. So, but anyways.
Marked it as number 1. Thank you, Skull.
So Star Trek wine. There is a now. So Jeff, you also have a couple of Star Trek, not themed liquor, but actually licensed liquors.
Yeah, distilled specifically for under license from Paramount Star Trek.
Yes.
So I have the 10 Forward Vodka and the James T. Kirk Single Malt Bourbon.
Yes. So they
12-year single malt bourbon.
Was very actually both of them fantastic, if I remember correctly. Yes.
So good. Even without the names, I would buy them.
Yes. A little overpriced, but still very good.
The vodka was only $30.
Oh, that's actually really good then.
It's totally reasonable. Let alone for the bottle that you get with it, which is like an Elcar's display with vodka in it. It's like great.
Yeah.
But no, the Kirk bourbon was like $110.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are now 2 brand new licensed Star Trek wines. So if you are a wine connoisseur, there is now a white wine for you instead of the Chateau Picard, which is a red. Both of them are the other two originals are red. This is, I believe, a Sauvignon Blanc.
Yep.
And then a very special one that I and Jeff both want.
I want the blood wine.
The Klingon blood wine.
I don't care what it tastes like. I want that bottle.
Wax dipped. You know,
want that bottle.
That bottle, and it even looks like something that would come off of Star Trek. That short, stubby, fat, thick glass. You know, it's got the big bubble at the bottom. Probably uber thick wax.
Yeah. Right.
I want that bottle.
Right. So I've added this to my cart.
What's it at?
It's $140, and it's gonna be $20 shipping. If anyone wants to donate to this cause, I will open these on camera.
There we go. I will break COVID to go there.
Right.
And drink with Jeff.
I will allow John we'll do a live show from my deck. How's that?
Yes. That I will chug.
If I can get like 3 or 4 $20 super chats, we will make this happen.
What is it? Let's see.
Even at 10, 20, 30. I'm at $33 right now. If I can get like another 40 or $50, I'll just click. I'll check out while we're on the air.
Yeah. So
I'll hide my screen because you're not going to know my.
$160 even for a 3-pack.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But again, so maybe Christmas list this year.
Right.
You know, if it doesn't sell out, because it actually sold out. The original pack sold out very, very quick.
Yeah.
And if I haven't opened these wines, and I'm not a wine guy, but I had to buy it.
Right.
You know, I wanted these. But if they're anything like the liquors, because everything is licensed and they are going through at least a, semi, like we have to taste this. And
there's 25. There's 20.
Oh,
yeah, we got $45 already. One more, and I'm gonna check out.
I might even just do it too, just to be like, hops and brews, $20.
You guys are freaking amazing.
So,
$85. There it is.
Oh.
Skull, Parker, and Michael. I freaking love you.
So Steve just showed up to my house. I was like, who opened the door? And it's Steve.
There we go, $105. We just paid for the whole thing with tonight's show.
Yeah, well, I need a fan because I'm hot. And then here you go. Hang on, sit right there. There's Steve. Sit on the chair.
Hey, all
right.
Oh, me.
And you get the wind blowing.
Is it over or is this the after party?
No, we're still going.
We're still going. Yeah.
Okay, let's get back.
We're still going. We just talked about the new Star Trek wine.
Yep.
Oh,
so we're over at Tech. Why did you? Oh, you missed it. You didn't get to try any of this. That is the beer I had today.
All right, so I'm checking out as a guest. I agree with shipping conditions.
7%. Oh, it smells disgusting.
It's horrible. Oh, you're checking out?
I'm checking. I said I'd do it on the air, and I got another $20 and another €20. So thank you, John Jay and DJ Innocent.
The new Chateau Picard, or not the Klingon blood wine.
Oh, right.
Asshole. All right. Well,
this is now a business expense. That's awesome.
And that's okay.
Okay, they're in.
I'll stick around for the after party.
All right, they're in my room. Yeah, I'll get the wide angle lens, and we can piss everyone off. They're in my room. Just be quiet. Jace is sleeping. All right. Anyways, so there's that. So that is. Oh, do you want to do the game and tech news?
Yeah, I do want to get into that a little bit.
Because we had. Okay. Yeah. We'll skip. So again, if you are part of Jeff's Discord, you can see that link to the disgusting alcohol that we early on talked about.
And for those wanting to know, I do use the Ridge wallet. Here it is. Go to ridge.com/craft to get 10% off your order.
What?
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Get it.
I'm now. Wait, you get what? Did you just get the 2?
I got the 3-pack.
Of the blood wine.
Blood wine, the Sauvignon Blanc, and the white.
And the what? Okay. So you got.
I'm getting all 3.
So then you got this one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you got that one. Okay. It's an old line Zinfandel. It's a red Zinfandel. I'm curious though, because mine's a 2008. I'd be curious to see what your year is, since you're technically buying it a year later.
Right. I'm kind of curious to know what will actually show up.
So then, hang on. I've actually never looked in detail. Hey, check this out. I never looked at this. My Chateau Picard gives a date on there, but it's a 2386.
Nice.
So that's cool. Although I believe, yeah, that was the one they said is the 87, 86 to be the one where he meets his brother.
Yes.
So
the 86? You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Raffy.
All right. So let's go into some entertainment news. Well, we only have 2 quick ones, and we can get through it and then wrap this episode up. So we've talked about. You want something to drink, Steve? Oh my God! So Steve went and grabbed the Mad Dog.
Really? He went 2020 on you?
He did.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Okay. So there was on top of Star Trek, we're pretty decent Star Wars fans as well. Rhett's a huge Star Wars fan. You are as well, if I remember correctly.
Letting everyone know, I did indeed purchase this. Here it is, $156. I'm good on my word. Big Spoon, $5. Get the Kess wine. It's a little younger.
The Kess wine.
$156, 3 bottles. It'll be here in a couple of weeks.
All right. So Star Wars. We're Star Wars and Star Trek fans. Mostly Star Trek, but we do appreciate Star Wars. Yes. Star Wars is a good franchise. We enjoy it. We talk about it still regularly on this show. Rhett is a huge Star Wars fan. You yourself. I enjoy the mythology. I believe Steve does as well.
Yep.
So, although the last 3 episodes, not a big fan of, honestly. You know, and I think they, especially the very, very last one,
right? They
kind of copped out of, and a lot of people were just like, that was a way to go.
They tried to go, in my opinion, entirely fan service.
Yeah.
And when that's all you cater to, you're going to exclude the fans you're trying to service and the new fans you're trying to bring in.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
And so now it's been basically confirmed. There were some fan theories through Reddit and a couple other post sites that Rey was someone else's daughter, technically.
Right.
And so it has been confirmed through the actress Daisy Ridley. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Ridley. Yeah, Daisy Ridley. That originally the fan theories were actually correct. She technically, the original writings for the script, the first draft at least, was
Rey Kenobi.
Yes.
That was the first draft of the new trilogy, was Rey Kenobi. It was a descendant of Obi-Wan Kenobi. The second draft was Rey nobody.
Yeah.
The third draft was Rey Kenobi. The fourth draft was Rey Palpatine.
Yeah.
And it changed depending on who you asked and depending on what week it was.
Now, and that could have been more of a confusing thing because they've done that with a couple other movies of like, hey, we want to keep people on their toes. We don't want to leak spoilers out. But this kind of comes out to, this makes more sense in the Star Wars mythological realm, light versus dark, and then, you know, everything. And it would just play better, I think. And it just feels better. So I don't know. Although at the same time, I still don't know if I would have liked this. Both felt like a cop out. I still don't know. I was globally disappointed with the second and third edition of the sequels.
Yes.
Personally, I was, and I was just like, these are just horrible movies. Even when the third one came out, I rewatched every single episode, and from New Hope to I didn't watch the prequels. Let me put that there. I didn't watch the prequels. I just went from New Hope on. New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, to whatever the prequel. I don't remember them.
Yeah, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, I even hate that name. But everything felt rushed in these prequels.
How can you piss off Star Trek, Star Wars, and Stargate fans in one sentence? Remember Worf?
Sequest rocks.
No,
that's how you do it.
Sequest rocks. That's Babylon 5 was better.
Yeah, 2021 was great.
2021, yeah. No, how do you piss off Star Trek, Stargate, and Star Wars fans all in one sentence? Do you know who Michael Dorn was? Well, he played Chewbacca in the original trilogy. He's also the voice of the God of War guy who says "boy" all the time.
I did not know that.
No, it's not.
Oh.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Yeah. So, rather disappointed with the new trilogy. The Force Awakens was amazing. The Force Awakens was great. And
I liked it. It was. I have my problems with it, but I accepted it in the fact that it was a rehashing of New Hope for a new generation with enough fan, service to the original fans.
Correct.
That everyone could bond with it. A father could take his young son to it and be like, look at this. This is going to be an epic saga.
Mm-hmm. I
know what's going to happen. And it really felt that way. And then everything else just went to poo-poo after that.
Right. So The Last Jedi, I stated multiple times, I thought it was okay. It had some amazing scenes. The going to light speed through the Star Destroyer.
Okay, that's 10 seconds.
It was 10 seconds, but it was
end.
For me, that was a breathtaking moment in cinema.
Okay,
it really was.
It was a great idea. I really enjoyed the idea of like a kamikaze. Hey, this is a great way. We have to sacrifice. How do we do this? But now, the one thing I didn't realize was that the Force Awakens to The Last Jedi take place within 30 minutes of each other.
Right.
And I didn't realize that. I'm like, and then so the idea of Rey being this Jedi Master within 48 hours is just like, what?
Well, they did the same thing with Luke.
No, they didn't. Luke was theoretically between New Hope and Empire. You could state that there's been a year or two between the battle.
Between New Hope and Empire, yes. Between Empire and Jedi?
Oh, yes, but that's
because that's
Empire
when he was training on Dagobah.
Yes, oh, exactly. But that's the difference. We're talking episode 2 to 3. Now we're in the new series. We're talking 1 to 2. Right. And Rey just learned she has powers. 48 hours later, she's this Jedi lightsaber wielding master who kills Palpatine or what? Not the other weird Scarface.
Palpatine.
No, the other one who's in the chair.
Snoke.
Snoke. Yeah,
who he built up to be the ultimate bad guy.
And he's just nothing. He just sits in his chair, and he gets killed by a lightsaber.
That story went nowhere.
Yeah, and,
That's not true.
And so it doesn't.
That's impossible.
It doesn't make sense that even if she's Palpatine's granddaughter, which that means Palpatine had to mate with someone, and then their child had to mate with someone. No, not possible. Whatever. Sure. Whatever. When did that happen in the prequels?
My mods are revolting.
So, whatever. I just.
Yeah.
So even
anyway,
the story that they went with, even this turn, I don't even like the idea that she's Obi-Wan's daughter. I don't like either one.
But see, I could buy that. I could totally buy that.
I
could totally buy that she was Obi-Wan's daughter, or a descendant of Obi-Wan Kenobi, or a descendant of his line, his lineage, whatever.
I could buy it. I could buy it better, especially because there was early talks of an Obi-Wan series,
right?
And there's now talks of it's going to be released. It's a confirmed series.
Yep.
And then that could lead to it. So all of that could have tied, and maybe I could have believed a little bit better now.
Thank you, Steve.
So, is he talking? Oh.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You can't read it on air anyway.
Anyways,
here's the bottom line: is they played this so fast and loose with the franchise that they bought for $3 billion.
Yeah,
it's inconceivable to me.
Yeah, I know
that there wasn't one person at the top who said, "This is the direction we're going to go."
Yeah. Well, they change directors every time.
They change directors every time, which is normal for Star Wars. You know,
no, well, there was exactly
4, 5, 6 had different directors. 1, 2, 3 had different directors.
Well, 4, 5, 6 had 4, 5. Between 4 and 5, it was technically different directors, but still, he had supervision over it. But God, he was such a good director in 4.
Yeah,
I forget his name, but in Empire Strikes Back, such a good director.
Yeah,
he knew how to tell a story.
But here's the problem: is you can't make everyone happy all the time.
No, well,
and
even they didn't make anyone happy.
Right.
They made 12-year-old boys like, this is stupid.
Right.
They made all their fans. So anyway,
who's Palpatine?
Yes, exactly. They didn't explain anyways. It was just, everything was dumb. I can't wait for Mandalorian season 2. Did you see that trailer?
Yes.
Trailer looked good. It looked like they upped the budget. I heard a little bit about it. Might be more of an overarching story, less of an episodic, kind of like last season was.
This is the way.
But man, it really. The Mandalorian saved Star Wars for so many diehard fans.
Yes.
It really brought it back to practical storytelling, practical effects, but modern effects in it, and simplicity is better type of a thing. It
right.
really helped, and there's little humor bits everywhere. John Farva, a guy who directed Iron Man 1 and 2, took over, and there's multiple directors even in there. There was the guy who did not Iron Man, Thor Ragnarok. He did What We Do in the Shadows.
Here's the bottom line.
He does
a good story.
Taka Waititi. Yeah, Taka Waititi. He does a couple of those. Fantastic job. I think it's a great
line story. For these franchises, and I'm talking about Marvel, I'm talking about Star Wars, I'm talking about
Disney
Star Trek.
Owned. They put Star Trek.
Not even Disney owned. Just in general.
Yeah.
Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel, DC. Tell a good story, for crying out loud.
Don't go the JJ or not the Transformers. Who's the director of Transformers? And Michael Bay. Michael Bay. No, Michael Bay. Don't go the Michael Bay. Bunch of explosions, over practical. Bunch of effects, no substance.
Right.
Don't do that.
We talked about Star Trek Picard. We have issues with Star Trek Picard, but overall, it told a fairly good story.
Yes.
Okay. So there's some things I could do without. There's some things I would want more of, but overall, it told a good story.
B+.
And I enjoyed the ride.
I gave it a B+.
B+, solid B. I'd say solid B.
Solid B.
On a rewatch.
Yeah.
Star Wars, Episode 4, 5, 6, A-. A- to an A.
Yeah.
You lost me a little bit in Return of the Jedi with the Ewoks.
Yes.
Like, I don't know that they needed to be there.
They tried throwing some humor in there and just didn't work.
Just didn't work for me. Episode 1. Episode 1 told a great story. It really did.
Great. Honest, yeah. It brought...
Episode 2. The story is in the background. You kind of know what's there, and the dialogue does not sell it.
No.
In episode 3, you go, what?
Well, even episode 2, and even the story, the visual story aspect I think that's the problem with the prequels. The visuals didn't really help.
Right.
Episode 1, you give it a pass because, hey, this is the first adaptation of it. They're just trying new stuff. 2 and 3, they're like, well, let's just add more. It's like, no. This is like adding to the remixes of 4, 5, and 6, or 3, 4, and 5.
The Force Awakens. Sorry, let's go Rogue One. Phenomenal story.
Visually, it's great. I think visually, Rogue One is a great storytelling. It tells a decent story, even though we know what's going to happen. There's some character development to where
I know that many Bothans died to bring us these plans.
Yeah, and because of that,
I know everyone is going to die, and I'm glad you had the balls to kill everyone.
Yeah,
and tell that story.
Yes, I wish there was a bit more development in at least 1 to 2 characters, but
even then, for a 2-hour movie, I'm fully satisfied with how it went, with how it ended, with everything in between.
As far as if I was going to put it in Star Wars, it's top 4. It really is.
I'd put it 1A to 1B with like Empire Strikes Back.
So
I really would.
There's that.
Episode 7 told a pretty decent story overall.
Episodes. That's
The Force Awakens. That's
first
one of the new trilogy.
Well, because but it's a rehashing of A New Hope.
Overall, Force Awakens told a very good story.
It retold the story.
It doesn't matter. It told a good story. I could follow every plot point. I knew what they were talking about.
It's like watching The Princess Bride again. It's like, I enjoyed this.
But The Princess Bride is still a great movie.
It's a great movie. It's a great story. They just sat there and said, hey, we have a great story.
Inconceivable.
Yes. So it is a great story because they followed a blueprint that they previously had. Is they rehashing, and they did a great rehashing for the modern times. I agree with that it brings 2 generations, even 3 generations together.
Right.
Everything after that was crap.
Right. The Last Jedi, it threw away plot points from the first one. It told stories that didn't need to be told, that had nothing to do with the end result. It had some great cinematic visuals to it.
That's all it has.
It had a couple of things where the story was written on the wall, and then they said, no, we're going to go this way instead. Like, Leia should have died in space. I said that at the time. And I said that at the time that I said I'm going to reserve judgment for this movie based on what happens in Episode 9. Leia should have died in space. Should have died in space. And she didn't. Instead, she used her latent force powers to bring herself back in to get into a coma, only to come back and then die later. It's like, kill her. Have the balls to kill her.
I know. That's bad.
And then Episode 9 told no story at all.
No, it did. It was a that was. So here's a knife that point. Theoretically Tides could have adjusted the end of the Death Star. How did that knife get there? That's super ancient. How did it know that shut up! Who builds a knife?
Yeah. I love Star Trek, but there are some sinkers. Ala Moraine. We can hate on Sub Rosa. It's okay.
Hey, you know what the thing is though? A multi-million, billion-dollar movies.
Novella Hub. Sub Rosa had all the steamy scenes on TNG.
Yeah. So, but again, so we have.
I technically beat you to that.
Multi-billion-dollar movies versus $100,000 episodes.
Right.
And that have to back then had to be
25 episodes a season.
Exactly. Yeah, and really
times 7 seasons. You're gonna have a couple snickers.
Yeah. So
you spent $3 billion on the Star Wars franchise.
Aspect ratio. You can't do much with that.
Right. You spent $3 billion on the Star Wars franchise, and you didn't have someone at the top who had the balls to say, yes, this is the direction this franchise is going to go.
Yeah.
You said yes to everyone who came along with any idea conceivable. You gave it to whatever director and said, go whatever direction you would like to go, even though we're throwing everything from Episode 7 in the trash. Yeah. And now we're left with a sequel, a trio of sequel movies that I will probably never watch again.
Yeah. And there's already talk about rebooting them and scrapping the 3.
In the late 90s, I went and saw all of the new prequels in theaters. I watched them once after their DVD releases, and I never watched them again.
Yeah.
I have not seen the original prequels since 2003.
Anyways, we're running a little bit late.
Yes.
Do you want to get to the last one, or
I can say it really quick. The PlayStation 5 has a $399 asking price for the all-digital edition and a $499 asking price for the DVD version.
And it is coming out November 19th.
And you can kind of pre-order it now, although all the websites that you can pre-order it on are failing right now.
Yes, and the only interesting aspect is that it is coming out only a couple days after the Xbox, so there's going to be a bit of a fight. Yes. That's really the only interesting thing about this article. It was going
to happen that way, though.
Yeah, exactly. So it's everything was coming out during Christmas time. We all knew that. So why'd you ask that?
It's the most wonderful.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is everything we have to talk about.
Yep.
Join us for the after show. I'm going to close it because I have to do something.
You drank a lot of beer tonight.
Yes, I did. So I have to go. Unless
hey, Steve, you want to do the sign out? And let John go?
Steve, you want to do the sign out?
Here, wait.
This has been episode 150 of Talking Heads here on Craft Computing. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to Craft Computing if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to Hops and Brews if you like the beer content on this channel. Welcome, Steve. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, all right.
Whoa.
Hey, I'm not going to put these on. These are like...
I haven't seen you in this good of fidelity since, before I last saw you in person.
Well, there's a reason why I have a shitty cam, so you can't see me in this good fidelity.
Right.
We don't want that. We want the air of mystery.
Right. None of us want that.
No,
right.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to take part in the super secret after show or any of the chats from Wednesday to Wednesday, consider joining the Patreon down in the video description. $1 a month gets you exclusive access to the Discord server. You can chat with myself, John, Steve, Rhett, and all of the hosts from Talking Heads. Get part of the community, get part of the buy-sell trade pages.
Yeah.
Keep up on news throughout the week as it happens.
If you haven't heard, I got a 2070 you can buy.
Yeah, I hear Steve has a 2070 Super that he's willing to let go for $225. Isn't that amazing?
If you add like a 100 on top of that for like
now, if you want to add $125, I will autograph that before we ship it to you.
Yeah.
So,
and John will urinate it if you hurry up because he's peeing right now.
Right.
Yeah.
We can include that in the package if you hurry and order now. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching every Wednesday night here at 8 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news. This is Talking Heads episode 150, and thank you, and we will see you next week.
See you at the after party.
See you at the after party.
All right.
Cheers, all.
Bye.